Hey, hi. So I tried to go live twice before this. The first time, I just rambled and bung paiza, so I dialed off. Then I came back a second time, and then I got a call from somebody who's saying, "You didn't pay." And I'm like, "Didn't pay, please." Oh my katas. But anyway, I'm here and it's not going to be for long. I just really want to talk about something that I watched last night that I wanted to add my thoughts to. So last night I watched a wisdom and wellness podcast interview by Mpumi Ledwaba interviewing Jay something. And there was a question where she asked him about his spirituality and his spiritual journey. And Jay something was just talking about how he has gone through a lot of things to try get to a place of owning his spirituality and defining it for himself. So one thing that he said that really stood out for me that I want to talk about or talk to, he said that he's been asking a lot of pastors around saying, if I were to write a book and put it in the Bible and call it J, would there be anything wrong with that? Would that be a problematic thing? And I'm a pastors, I guess, haven't been able to say anything about that. But I've got something to say. I wish he had asked me, because here's what I was going to say. So what is the Bible? The Bible is a recollection of stories, right? It is a book of scriptures that was inspired by the Holy Spirit. So we are seeing people live out their lives, either doing things that are inspired by the Holy Spirit or inspired by their own flesh and their lust or whatever. And we hear affirmations from God through his prophets or through those who are writing. So it's basically a collection of experiences, right? But particularly experiences inspired by the Holy Spirit, or the writings inspired by the Holy Spirit in documenting and capturing these things. So here's the thing. I would have said to Jay, if he had asked me this question, as you live, as you breathe, as you walk, as you do, you are writing the Bible. People see you either doing things that are inspired by the Holy Spirit or inspired by your flesh or inspired by whatever, and they are watching you. They are learning from you. They are writing, they are taking notes from what you've got going on, right? Just the other day, someone sent me a DM saying to me, Mpumi, thank you for your obedience because we're learning something from you. Isn't that a story in the Bible of our generation? So he doesn't need to write a book in the Bible and say and call it J, because as he lives, as he does his music, as he does his restaurants, whatever it is he's doing, as he loves his wife, as he raises his kids, he is writing a Bible. Whether his actions are inspired by the Holy Spirit or not is irrespective. Like it's immaterial. Oksalayo is writing a Bible. So there's no need for us to get flustered or to feel like, the Bible is boring. What if it's a story of other people's lives? It's okay. It's okay. You're writing your own Bible. You are featuring in a Bible that is written for this generation. Some of us are choosing to do things inspired by the Holy Spirit so that other people can see and live their lives. Abanye bantu, they are living lives that are uninspired by the Holy Spirit, doing whatever. That is fine. But Oksalayo, each of us in this generation are putting together a collection of stories, a collection of experiences, a collection of memories, a collection of actions that is writing a Bible. When our generation passes, another generation is going to come up, and they're going to say, and when they hear about the things we did, when they hear about the moves we made inspired by God, they will decide how they choose to live their lives. As we move, as we breathe, as we act, we're writing the Bible. So there's no need to put a chapter or a book about your own life in a Bible that exists. It's okay. You are already writing a Bible. I'm seeing Unkele say scriptures lead to Jesus. Our lives can do the same. 100%. Because do you think God is done talking? Do you think God is done acting? Do you think God is done inspiring? He's not. He inspired those people back then in that generation, but he's still doing it now. When I kneel to pray, I hear from God. When I read the Bible, I hear from God. When I speak to people, I hear from God. Everything is an encounter. Everything is an encounter. Our decisions are an encounter. And so there's no need, Jay, if he ever comes across this, there's no need to feature your own book in that Bible because you are writing a Bible right now. All of us are writing a Bible. Our stories are chapters and books in the Bible. My book is called Mpumike Mbonane, and everything that I do, it's written because people are watching, people are looking. So now I just know, be very conscious of the fact that you are writing a book in the Bible. So what will your book read? Will it read faith or fear? Will your book read audacity or you coward? Will your book read prosperity or shrinking? Will your book read, what will your book read? Did you go after the things that God said go after, or did you say, I'll just wait and see? What will your book read? How are you loving? How are you giving? How are you being? What are you saying? How are you dressing? How are you presenting to this world? What are you doing? Because all of those things are a chapter and a book being written in the Bible of our lives, in the Bible of this generation. So what will your story read? Because we're watching. Spegel. We are reading. Even though we don't say anything, we are reading and we are looking. If your story is a story of hair, I'm single Beverly here and I know her hair is amazing. If your story is a story of hair, we're going to read that book and we're either going to take notes from the chapters and say, oh, what does she use? Shea butter. Let me use shea butter as well. Whether you are conscious of it or not, whether you want to or not, you are writing a chapter. You are writing a book. And we're watching. We're reading. Your obedience, Spegile. Your disobedience, Spegile. Your love, Spegile. Your lack of love, we are watching. Everything, Spegile, we are watching. I used to quite not be offended, but I used to feel like every time celebrities say, no, I'm not your child's responsibility. So okay, maybe let me give context. So let's say a celebrity does something unbecoming or untoward according to society standards, right? And then people are like, our kids are watching. What example are you setting? And celebrities are like, hey, your kids should be watching you, not me. What the hell? I did not sign up for this. It's not my responsibility, right? And I used to be like, what do they think? And then a similar thing happened to me. People are like, oh, my kid looks up to you, and. In all honesty, I love that. I love that people's kids are looking at me and they're learning from me. It doesn't add pressure to my life, but it certainly puts my crooked path straight. I'm just like, my 10-year-old niece is watching. I don't want her to do anything that is unbecoming. My 17-year-old, my 18 now. Oh, my 18-year-old niece, she's reading as I'm writing. I don't want her to read that. Because also it's not beneficial for me to do izinto ezingasanga. So why the hell would I want to introduce them to that? And so I don't mind anybody looking. Like, if I make a mistake, I'm gonna fix it with the Lord and I'm gonna fix it with you if it's a public mistake. But otherwise, if you motivated grace, if you inspired grace, if I'm appalling or I repel you, that is also fine. But the reason I was bringing this up is because whether celebrities want to or not, whether they signed up for the responsibility or not, they are writing chapters. They are writing books. And we are making notes. We are reading. And so that is what I wanted to talk about. Very short. So good see. There's absolutely no need for anyone to feel like, oh, but it's just a bunch of people who are writing stuff. It's a book that is irrelevant. It's very relevant. It's very relevant. But what's more relevant is the fact that you are also writing a Bible and people are reading it. So that's what I wanted to say. To Jay something and to everybody else is like, oh, the Bible is so irrelevant. It's fine, yeah. Look at the people that are relevant to you. If those people are inspired by the Bible, now you're going to be inspired. But even if they aren't, whatever lives they're living or whatever things they're doing, you're going to be inspired. And if that points you to the Lord, perfect. If it points you elsewhere, askis. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for joining me, guys. We'll chat again another time. Mwah.